This kid was only 5 years old, and his dad drove him off to the mountains, kicked him out of the car, and left him there to scare him. Extreme abandonment issues. This is a guy named Hank, and Hank likes to make bank. His parents taught him that appearances and making money is the most important thing in the world. And for some reason, Hank likes to take his son to these business meetings. All right. So one day, Hank and his son, they go to a business meeting, and his son is only 5 years old. So it's pretty hard for him to sit still at these business meetings. But Hank says, "Hey son, why don't you introduce yourself to these men?" And the son goes, "Poo poo," right? Thinking he's being funny, it's just a joke. Well, big mistake, because like I said, Hank's parents are narcissists. Hank himself was abused, and that made Hank a little bit strange. But it's no excuse, right? So the business meeting ends, and they get into the car. And that's when Hank lets loose his rage. He goes from being silent and cold to being completely enraged, insulting the child, berating the child, shaming the child, scaring the child, threatening violence. Now, the child has dealt with violence in the home before. The child has seen his mother being beaten. So, he's freaking out. And what does Hank decide to do? Hank says, "I'm going to really teach you a lesson. I'm going to really show you what you did was so wrong. How dare you, Mr. 5 years old, say poo poo at a business meeting?" First of all, why is Hank even taking his son to these business meetings? We'll never know. But, anyways, they drive about 40 minutes away from their home, and they get to a mountain. It's a relatively scary mountain, and they're on this less traveled road. And Hank says, "Get out of the car. Get out of the car, little boy. I don't care how much you cry and plead and say you're sorry. You get out. I'm here to teach you a lesson." So the little boy has no choice, gets out of the car, and the little boy is now on the side of the road next to a big mountain as Hank drives away. Hank thinks he's doing something really good, really smart here. "I'm going to teach my son about this world. I'm going to teach my son that, when it comes to business, you don't mess around. I'm going to teach my son about respect." So he drives away, and the boy is crying. The boy is fearing for his life. Luckily, no bad actors, no bad Samaritans, drive by. The boy is just left to his own devices for 20, 30 minutes, just crying his head off, imagining all the horrible things. When Hank comes back, and Hank acts like nothing's happened. "Hey, come back in the car. Dad had to teach you this lesson to let you know you don't say poo poo at business meetings. Dad's working very hard for you. Do you know how hard Dad's life is? Do you know what Dad sacrifices for you?" You know? And, the little boy believes it. The little boy says, "Oh, yeah, I'm wrong. I shouldn't have done this." And I don't want to ever feel this scared ever again. So I'm going to listen, and I'm going to internalize all of this shame and anger and confusion. So they drive home, and the next day they drive home, and the little kid goes to sleep thinking, whatever, this is normal. He's just a kid. He has no idea that the father has impacted him in such an extreme way. He doesn't know that in his adult life he'll be fighting demons and inner anger and shame and rage as a result of this terrible lesson. So, they just go to sleep, and they act like this is normal, just like they act like abuse at the home is normal, and they move on. And yeah, that's it. That's one of the many insane episodes of terror and trauma I experienced as a child. You might have noticed I struggled to tell this story because this story is about me. I was that boy, For some reason, I decided to say poo poo at a business meeting when they asked me what my name was. And that was such a huge mistake. I mean, I know it wasn't a mistake. I was just 5 years old. I was just being a kid. But even now, I feel like, man, I really messed up. Thankfully, I've done a lot of work and inner work to get over that. And I've been able to help other people too. Life is very funny like that. And this type of harsh lessons, domestic violence, it's still very common where I'm from, Taiwan, in Asia. And I really hope to help people with this. I really hope to let people know that they deserve to be loved. Um, I hope parents know that this is just wrong. A lot of parents will still think this kind of behavior is correct. You need to scare the child to death so they'll listen to you. But you don't understand the changes you're forcing in the child's brain, the neuroscience of abuse and extreme anger is incredibly profound, and it can really affect people for the rest of their lives. People might feel imposter syndrome, depression, anxiety, autoimmune disease, OCD, feeling like they can never quite get it right, unable to detect red flags in relationships. These are all very real side effects from poor education in the house during the foundational years. If you would grow to be your best self, we need to be loving to ourselves. Honest, kind, firm, and loving to ourselves. Human beings can endure great agony and suffering, but we only fully evolve and open to warmth and love and light. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was valuable for you or you gained some insight or entertainment from it. Take a look at some of my testimonials here. I have been researching ways for my clients to achieve emotional and physical freedom and enlightenment for the last 10 years. A lot of people use fancy tools, marketing and funnels to get you to sign up for something. Sometimes it costs a lot and there's actually not a lot of value. What I'm doing here is completely different. I used to have a fancy website. I got rid of all of that. All I have is this email list here. If you're interested in free eBooks, free online courses, and if you might be interested in working with me one-on-one, please sign up. The link is in the description box below. I only take on a few clients a month because my program is highly specialized, and I want to make sure that each client gets the best and gets the most of my time and energy. Having experienced abuse, cancer, anxiety, depression, OCD, having walked through it and learned how to thrive, I've also learned Eastern and Western healing systems, therapeutics, nutrition, anatomy, um, neurology, everything possible to help you heal. I have thousands of hours of meditation practice under my belt, along with energy work and two spiritual teachers that I work with. So I have a special set of skills where I can really connect with your energy and make sure that you feel empowered and dignified as I custom tailor a program for you. So if you're interested to work with me, learn more about me, or if you're not sure, you just want to check out my ebooks and online courses for free, please hit the link below and give me your email. I will treasure your contact information and I will never mess with it, sell it to some third-party advertiser. Promise. I am currently waitlisting for new clients starting next year, January 2025. I'm looking for people who are motivated and ready to transform their lives, and I promise you, you will be happy with the results.